Good morning, Pipers. It is 9 degrees. 9. Now, I love nature, right? But I was born and raised in South Carolina, where it was like 75 degrees on Christmas Day. This is unacceptable. Single digits, not my thing. However, 9 degrees is 10 degrees cooler than it was yesterday when I went out in the woods to try to light a fire. With my new Mora Companion survival knife, well, bushcraft knife, that my wife gave me for Christmas. It's already developing a little bit of patina there, as you can see. Because it is the high carbon steel model. Because that supposedly is, there's some advantages. Well, I went out in the woods yesterday and I had the goal of showing off my Mora by making this cute little video where I would show you kind of the mods that I did to the Mora, and then I would go out in the woods and I would light just enough of a fire to get a burning stick where I could light my pipe. And I was going to light this pipe, and in it is Orlick Golden Mixture. I put that in there yesterday before I went to the woods, and I never had a chance to smoke it because that project was ill-fated from the start. So I'm going to show you some videos that I made. I did record some B-sides, so that I would at least have some content from the experience. And I'm going to go over the lessons that I've learned. So we'll get started right now. So, welcome back to Defiant Pipes. Today I'm going to take you on another Gribbly's Folly adventure. And it all went downhill from there. Before the sun came out, it was 19 degrees. And we don't have a lot of wind here, but up in the higher elevations, the wind chill was -1. Now, I live in North Carolina, y'all. This is just unacceptable. But I do live in the mountains, so I have to be, prepared for this kind of thing. I will say, though, that like most people around here, I buy my cold weather gear at Walmart. I don't have anything that's, seriously capable in this kind of weather. I'm wearing galoshes and some long johns, and that's about it. Got a coat in my bag, but I was actually getting overheated walking up here. I have to figure out how to get to the fort through all this snow. Let's go over some lessons and how I'm going to run some video under this voiceover. Chiefly, number one, the Mora is a great knife, but it is not a survival knife. It is a bushcraft knife. It is really good for small tasks, but had I been in an actual survival situation, I would have wanted a bigger knife. In fact, I would have wanted a really big knife. It just took too long to process the wood with the Mora. lighting a fire should be a last resort if you're in a real situation, and I almost got in a real situation. I mean, I was okay. I could just walk out, but I have never been that close to being in a real situation in the cold ever before. The lighting a fire should be a last resort. Unless you know you're going to have to hunker down and spend the night, you should just keep moving. Because I found that I was warmest and most comfortable when I was traveling. Lesson number 3: when you are traveling, travel. Don't stop to shoot photos. Don't stop to make a video. Don't stop to enjoy the moment. Move your ass. What I learned, lesson number 3A, is snow is creeping death. And when you're all gussied up in your snow outfit, and of course mine came from Kmart, it's not that great, you can do okay. But when you stop and when you open your pack and when you open your pockets, you take off your coat maybe to let your breathe a little bit, get some air. That's when the snow gets in, and snow is creeping death, and once it's in, it's in. That leads to point 4, which is don't underestimate your discomfort. I'm the kind of guy where I'm like, yeah, my feet are freezing and my nose is running and I'm shivering, but I'm gonna be okay, right? Like I can power through this. Yeah, that's okay until you need to stop and do a fine task like carving a feather stick or lighting a fire. Then your discomfort becomes a huge distraction, and it's very hard to concentrate and it's very hard to stay focused. So it's important to keep yourself as comfortable as you can. Next lesson, I think we're up to lesson 5 now. Galoshes suck. Galoshes are waterproof, that's true. So are Ziploc bags, and they have the exact same amount of insulation. I thought I had frostbite on my toes. I was surprised when I got back, and I did not have frostbite on my toes. Next lesson. Anything not tied down will fall off, including your cell phone, including the tripod that the cell phone is mounted to, including the head of the tripod that was $15 on Amazon. You should not expect that tripod to last. It fell off into the snow, and my shemagh scarf fell off into the creek. I pulled it out. It instantly froze stiff. I tried to tie it onto my pack, and did not because it was frozen. And so I just kind of stuck it under one of the straps, and yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Let's see. Last, not least. Definitely not last or least. Pay extra money for weatherproofed electronics. My phone is weatherproof. My camera is not. My phone works fine after being dropped in the snow literally a dozen times. It's hard to use, small electronics with gloves on. And I dropped it in the snow, and I dropped it in the snow, and I dropped it in the snow. And that's okay because it's weatherproof, except a couple of times I dropped it and couldn't find it. And it took a long time to dig it back out of the snow. And, I don't want to lose my phone, but also applying that to other lessons. What if you drop your fire steel in the snow? Even smaller and denser than a phone. It's going to fall deeper into the snow. And if that's your only method of lighting a fire, you're screwed if you can't find that fire steel. On with fire lessons, pack and tinder. I did not think that I never crossed my mind that I would not be able to get the tinder lit, the natural tinder. Because that's what feather sticking is all about, right? Like you take a stick and you chop it apart and you get to that dry inner wood and you make little tiny scrapings off of that, and that's what you light. Or if all else fails, you get some dry grasses and keep it in your coat for a little while. No, that didn't work. I don't quite know what I was doing wrong because I know this is possible. Maybe I didn't pick a big enough piece of wood. Maybe it was green wood. I don't know. I looked for dead standing wood, but it didn't work. I was able then to get the tinder that I packed in lit, but it would not light the natural tinder. So whatever was going on with the natural tinder out there, it would take a lot to get it lit. I don't know what the answer is to this situation, except don't go out and try to start a fire in the snow. And what else? What else? Yeah, snow gets into everything. Everything. It got into my fire kit. It got into my pipe. Got into all of my pockets. It made life hell. So, so I am very glad that I made it out without having to call any like rescue personnel or anything like that. And I appreciate you watching me fail at all these videos. I don't think I've done a Gribbly's Folly adventure that has worked out the way I wanted it to yet. So yeah, cool. We're learning a lot of lessons. You learn through failure. So I'm glad I did it. Today I'm going to stay inside and play Minecraft. Thanks for watching. Keep the ends out for the ties that bind.